What's up, y'all? You're kicking it with the Junkyard Dog on JunkyardDoggs.com. My name is Tony, for those of you who don't know. So we are at the spot where all the cars is parked. I got to get all these cars out of here because, you know, I'm kind of rolling it up. So check it out. 69 Mustang. It's pretty beat up. And had some pretty weird stuff going on. I pulled the motor out. I had a motor in there, but it was all locked up. Just a bunch of mess. So I'm gonna end up painting the engine bay. I have a motor built for it at the shop to drop it in, and his guy wants an AOD, and he also wants to use 5.0 wiring harness. So I got to figure out how to graft that into this. Now I got a homie out in Riverside named Jeremy Thompson who also builds T5s, and he did this swap before. So I'm gonna ask him. I think he ended up using an aftermarket computer because it's just a lot more accessible and easier to do, but we'll see. All right, so what I'm doing today, this is a rear end from a 2002 GT, and the reason why we're using this is because A, it's disc brakes, and B, it's posi, and they're a lot more accessible, and the parts for these are pretty cheap overall. So the way you do this swap, you know, you got these spring purchase here that I ordered from off-road. So, excuse me. And these springs here I ordered from an off-road supplier. I mean, the spring purchase. And the only thing you got to do is weld them in to the right pinion angle. But because I don't have the motor and the trans in, can't really do that. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of measure the side to side, make sure it's centered. And then I'm going to put the U-bolts in and hook everything back up. At the very least, it could sit on the ground and roll around until we get the motor and trans in. All right, so let's get to it. So check it out. One thing I absolutely really like about this swap is the axle tubes are the same size. So the U-joints, I mean the U-bolts, they just go right over it just like it was stock. Okay, so I didn't set the pinion angle or anything, so I'm not welding anything in right now. Just getting it together. I'm gonna put the disc brakes back on, and then I have some wheels over there because it was a 4-lug before, which was so strange. Like, check out the front here. It's 4-lug. It's got these really little, almost look like a Pinto brakes on the front too. So it's a little confusing because it's a 69. So I'm a little confused about it, but we're gonna keep it pushing and get that 4-lug stuff off of here. 69 is a beefy, this is a beefy Mustang. All right, this is a beefy Mustang. So I don't really understand why they have 4-lug and these little disc brakes on the front. But we changing this to four-wheel disc. All right, so let's go ahead and put the calipers and the rotors back on. There go the brakes. They're on, and now we're gonna put on the wheels. All right, so we got it back on the ground. Actually looks pretty cool. I like the way it looked. Tire looked like it got some clearance back there. You could put a nice meaty tire back there. The proper offset, like that. So yeah, got to get my compressor to put some air in the two front tires, and that's what's going, man. The little Fiero. I had an LS4 I was gonna put in it, but you know, I had to start being realistic with myself in terms of how much time I have to do things, and I just don't have the time. And then this is the 86. So this is a quick build. I'm gonna put a motor from an Explorer in this, build a T5, and throw it up. So I have it for sale as a shell right now on OfferUp. And I also put it on my website as well. But it's gonna be getting built as things are going. So if nobody buys it the way it is, then I'm putting a motor in it. And if somebody still doesn't buy it with the motor in it, then I'm putting the trans and aluminum dry shafts and doing all the other good stuff. So probably want to get it now before I end up painting it and doing all this stuff and then making it all crazy. All right, and then we got the truck, 262,000 miles, but it's now got a Camaro 5.7 LS motor in it, the LS1. And the issue with this, the 262,000 miles, the suspension was completely gone. Like when I say completely gone, ball joints, everything was just destroyed, you know. I have some Porsche Cayenne rims on it. Okay. This was my money maker, man. I'm so sad it's been sitting for over a year. And this is what I get for just procrastinating, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, but we're gonna get back to it. All right, so here we are. This car is going to the trash. All this stuff's coming. This lathe is gonna go where it's supposed to go. Mayhem is actually gonna have a place where I can work on it over here. There goes Chuck up there, getting ready to pull down the shelf. So the plan is get all the shelving down, right? So I kind of learned something, right? When you have a workspace, it's not smart to store things in the workspace as least as possible, because storage is not the same as working. All right, so when you have a place you're paying for, you want to store stuff somewhere else if you can. If you got a big enough space where you can store it, well, God bless. But for the most part, that's very expensive. So it's actually cheaper in the long run to just go get a storage unit if you have like stuff, because I got stuff for sale and it's been sitting a long time. So it's either going to go in the trash or go to a storage unit if it's actually worth something. You know what I mean? So yeah, so check it out. All that's got to come down. That parts cleaner and there's a sandblaster back there got to come down. Everything off the shelf, it's got to come down and go in the truck and go to storage, except for the blue bins. Those are actually going to end up relocating somewhere else. I'm going to leave probably one shelf in here, you know, but who knows? Huh?
Which shelf?
Most likely this one right here. And then, yeah, well, it's not even just that. I'm gonna take all that stuff from underneath and put some of the other ones that go across, and then put all of that stuff, this little stuff, like, you know, down there. This whole shelf can go too. As you can see, the shelving is gone on this side. So we're gonna work on getting this shelving out of here next, and see all this junk still here in the way. It's a lot of stuff, but yeah, we're just gonna work on getting this stuff out of here. That way, it's just more workspace overall, you know? All right, so if you haven't gathered, my landlord has agreed to give me some time. So I gave him half of it, and I'm kind of running out of time, so I still need another 26. So we're getting there, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, man, I mean, I'm just trying to make sure that this, if I'm gonna stay here, that it becomes like an efficient workspace instead of like really expensive storage, because that's pretty much what it was. I couldn't really work in here because it was just like crowded. And the way that I set it up, it was just, what do them hipsters call it, a feng shui or whatever, them soy boys. But anyway, that's pretty much what the problem was in here, was that the workspace wasn't conducive to work, you know what I mean? So it really made it uninviting for me to come in here and knock stuff out. Also too, I realized that you could actually fit 4 cars in here, but I just had so much junk, or not even just junk, but so much parts and whatnot, that I wasn't able to work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and continue. We got the truck full. This is the second trip today, but the storage is closed. So we're gonna go on ahead and I'll dump some more stuff tomorrow in the morning, and then come back and then fill it up one more time. And I think that last time we'll get it to where, so the new plan is this. So check it out. So on this wall here, I'm gonna put a very thin kind of shelf. You ever seen those ones that are like 2 feet? They're not even that. And for these blue bins here, and bins period, I'm gonna stack all the bins up. I got lots of bins up there, and you know, I got these bins here just for like a lot of little random stuff. Like I have like, you know, stuff like this, you know, bearings and you know, and synchros, and just, you know, just a lot of little stuff that in all actuality, when I take apart a motor, it's worth stuff, you know. So I post them on my website. People do order them, but for them to be scattered all over the place is not helpful to me at all, you know. Also, to these products from Permatex, yeah, they look nice being there and everything, but it's not serving me any purpose being right there, and it just takes up a lot of valuable space. This stuff up here can go to storage, don't need it. This whole shelf can go. So yeah, take all this stuff, stick it over here. These racks here, they're just too cumbersome for this space. They're too big for this space. I've seen some other kind of shelving in Home Depot that's a lot like thinner and closer to the wall. So what I'm hoping to do is to be able to bring the cars up into this area. And then that lathe, there's a green lathe over here. Let me show you guys. So I had bought this lathe, and when I got it, it was working really well, but I had put it on the truck and didn't load it right, and it flipped, and I ended up busting the head, and it became garbage on my way home. Crazy, right? Waste of money. Never worked on it a single day. But my buddy, he called me when he heard the story or whatever, and he found me this one here for the cool $500. Okay, and that was a couple months ago before things started falling apart, you know. So it's been sitting here, not being able to be used, you know, because it's been there. So the plan is to kind of the machine shop stuff over on this side, you know, the lathe, the mill, the saw, everything on that side. And then on this side would be the workbenches. So to have the disassembly table, which I'll bring to this table here, which I'll bring closer to the front here, and then the assembly table, and then the shipping table, which is over here. It'll all still be on this side, you know, but it'll just be a lot easier for me to be able to bring stuff in to the shop. As a matter of fact, I might not even move that assembly table out back there. I don't know. I don't like it being there because it's really hot in the summertime working back there. It's like deep in the shop, and I don't get any kind of air or anything. So it's kind of not really a good space for it, but it is what it is. But these shelves are coming down. All right, just like on this side, they are gone now, you know. So you can see where they ended right there, where the paint ended. I might want to continue painting and finally finish it after like 3 years. Crazy, right?